Welcome to Youth Ki Baat by Youth of India Foundation. In this episode, we bring you the story of Ravi Pittie ji, founder of Agni Solar and KPay, a leader who has been shaping India's future through clean energy and digital innovation. From making solar energy accessible to homes and industries to building a reliable platform for digital payments. His journey is a powerful example of how vision and persistence can create large scale impact. Stay tuned as he shares his entrepreneurial lessons, the challenges of working in energy and fintech, and his vision for India 2047, where technology and sustainability go hand in hand. Let's dive into this inspiring conversation with Ravi Pittie ji on Youth Ki Baat. Namaste Ravi ji, welcome to
Namaste.
Youth Ki Baat by Youth of India Foundation. It's an absolute pleasure to be talking to you today. I would love to know about your journey for the start. How did you plan on opening Agni Solar, KPay and everything like that? Please walk us through.
Agni Solar is a solar energy company
Yes.
which has been long in the. It is started in 1993, so 32 years now. So it's no more a startup. While KPay is a technology startup which is in the early days of startup. So I'll first start with my journey of
Right.
Agni Solar. This actually, I was doing my engineering in the US at Michigan State University, where in my engineering courses I came across this concept of solar energy. The reason I say concept because back in the early 90s there was no such industry, no business in solar energy. It was just a pure theoretical concept. It's like today you'll have some in some scientific thing you'll talk about living in Mars and stuff like that. So it was pretty much like that. But somehow that the solar concept really hit me and it caught my fancy. I don't know what it was about it. So I got into further research about solar energy on my own, beyond the classroom also. So I visited many companies who are doing cutting edge research in solar in Texas and California and all these places. And I was quite, you could say, bitten by the solar bug. So I finished my graduation and came back to join my family business, which was into auto component manufacturing.
Okay.
But my whole now, that interest was in solar energy. So this thing, whatever was being done here, didn't interest me. And I somehow convinced my father to give me a corner of his factory to start my own R&D in solar. So basically, it started from there, and the rest it's continued now for 32 years. Started as an R&D unit, moved on to the first things that started, becoming commercially viable, such as solar water heating, then off-grid solar products such as home lighting systems, street lights, etc. From there, it moved on to rooftop solar, and now solar parks, ground-mounted, open access, large-scale solar parks. So literally, our journey of 32 years has been the journey of solar industry in India and worldwide. So we've seen all parts of it: the highs, the lows, the good and the bad, and we are here.
Great.
Yeah.
So, how do you, as you said that you came back to India to join the family business, and then somehow the interest came in? How do you think it is more important to actually follow your interests rather than following the traditional path of going and earning money?
So yeah, good question, especially for your students. It depends now what path you want to choose, the easy path or the difficult path. So if you follow your interest, there's high likelihood you'll remain, interested, passionate in that business. May or may not give you the kind of money you're looking for, but at least you'll remain, involved in it. While one other way is to just run after the money. It may not give you joy, but yes, you'll have the money, which is a more easy path. So it depends what you choose, but I think following your passion, especially as students, is very important in your initial years because you all are young. You have the time to make mistakes and learn from it and then do something else. So follow your passion initially. Suppose for any reason it doesn't work, you still can, redo it, build yourself again, and do something where maybe which is more practical. Let's say.
Right.
Yeah.
With following the passion as well, it is all about taking the first chance and doing it, and then maybe learning from the mistakes, maybe going along with it and staying focused and consistent with it.
Absolutely, learning from mistakes, I think, is a huge learning which you won't get in books from your classrooms. That is a practical learning,
Right.
and if you've never made mistakes, you'll never really learn. So it's a very few, I think, entrepreneurs that you come across who haven't had made mistakes, fallen in some way, but picked themselves again to rise again.
Right. But they are the geniuses, I would say. Other than that, every average person and every normal person has to make mistakes in their life in order
Exactly.
to grow.
No, no, even the geniuses, I'm 100% they make mistakes.
So, with your case, what was the first product that you built, and what were the challenges that you faced out of it?
So the first product that was a commercial product was solar water heating, because this was in the early 90s, and solar water heating had just started becoming like a viable product.
Hmm.
So the technology was very simple. It was, the sun's rays were heating water that was running through these tubes and giving you hot water instead of using an electrical boiler or geyser. So that, as the product matured and prices came down because of volumes, then people started adopting it. You may have also know about solar water heating.
Yes,
It used to
yes.
be used by most homes, residential places, and even industries started adopting it for their canteen requirements and process heat requirements. So that was the first thing we did. A lot of R&D in that also. Built some products which were unique, had some better features. We were the first that time to get ISO 9000 for this company. So there were many firsts at that time. We got a patent early 90s for the new design of solar water heater that we developed. So because we started as an R&D unit, it remained embedded in our DNA and continues to be. So we still try to build something which is new, unique, or just better usage of the same products. How to apply it better.
As you said about the concept of the solar energy was comparatively very new to our country at that moment. How did you guys actually came and put away the awareness to the people about solar energy and how it is used?
Sure. So correctly, it was very new, not only to our country, every country. So our marketing efforts were not about talking about the product; it was educating them about this what is solar energy.
Right.
It was a very different marketing efforts from today's time when everybody's aware, and you just have to talk about the benefits of your product or your system. That time it was educating that there is something called solar energy, which can practically work for you and give you hot water or electricity in a way that is going to be useful and viable.
What are the first consumer feedbacks that you had gotten and what were a push for you?
So, of course, see, at the end of the day, what I found out very early on is that just trying to talk about how good solar energy is. It is a clean green energy. It saves the environment was okay from a textbook point of view, but practically to sell a product, if somebody is paying you money for something, it had to make financial sense for that person.
Right.
So nobody was buying your product just because you are protecting the environment. You may talk a lot about it, we are leaving a better world for our next generation, but it doesn't sell your product in that way. So only when solar water heating became practically and financially a viable product, means when you compare it with an electric geyser, we proved that you're saving money compared to that. That's when it started being used more and more. So the first set of customers were those who had homes, residential bungalow owners, and builders who were looking to put it up for their building, societies.
Okay, so what do you think, as you rightly said about the brand associations to sustainable living for the next 10 years, sustainable living for the next 15 years is our aim to become independent, to become completely a sustainable country by 2047 is our aim. These are brand associations which come with every company. They have certain brand associations, and in today's world, storytelling has become a major part of it. How do you look at it? The storytelling part and associating your brand with a purpose.
No, so see, today things have changed a lot. Now, the concept of renewable energy is very much on everybody's agenda.
Right.
Every industry has clear goals of getting to, carbon neutral, net zero, and as different countries, different companies have different dates by when they want to get there.
Yes.
So mostly by 2030, we are seeing whether it is multinationals, so for sure, especially the companies based in Europe, have clear-cut goals that they have to get to net zero as soon as possible, and they are also pushing their vendors downstream. So even Indian companies who are supplying to them, they have been given the same goals. And overall, now that thing is that if you are not looking towards net zero, if you're not deploying green energy, then you're looked at it in a not very good way.
Good cities.
Yeah. So at least with industrial, commercial, and industrial clientele, we've seen a huge change in their attitude. Their awareness has changed, and there is a clear path that we have to go towards it. And backed by all this is, it's making financial sense. It's a no-brainer compared to the electricity cost that they pay. Industries today in Maharashtra pay upwards of 10 rupees a kilowatt hour a unit. So by going solar, they get their payback within maximum 3 years, and then it is free for the life of the plant, which is 25-30 years. So it's quite a no-brainer.
What do you think has sparked this sustainability approach in India?
See, first, like I said, the practical aspect that now over the years, solar electricity, that is photovoltaics and all, the price has come down so drastically that it makes full commercial financial sense. So first part which they look at, that I am paying X for grid power, and my power from solar is half of that grid power. So why shouldn't I go for it? That's the first part. Second, the ecosystem. Now banks, institutes are all happily and readily giving funding for going in for solar power or any other renewable energies. So if an industry wants to set up even a large plant, they can easily get funding for it at very, very low interest rates. So that these are the practical aspects. Then the third part, like I told you, is now this global awareness that we have to go towards renewable energies. There is no option. Climate change is real. So that's adding that the cream to the cake
Right.
that you have to go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So during your 32 years of experience with AgniSolar, you must have had every entrepreneur in their life has this quitting point, has this low moment. You must have had one, I'm guessing. So how do you deal with moments like this? How do you deal with the highs and lows that come along?
So not one moment. I must have had umpteen moments like that.
Yeah.
There, like for any entrepreneur in any industry, there are so many challenges that come your way, and there are times when you question yourself, you doubt yourself, and you really feel like throwing in the towel and quitting. But that is when going back to the first question comes in, when if you're doing something that you're passionate about, that helps you pick yourself up and keep going, because it's not all about making money. It's also that passion of what you're doing. You really like what you're doing, and also the other part of it is also that that at the end of the day, I always knew that this was industry I'm in that is doing good for the world. It is giving clean green power, which is
There's certain value addition.
You're doing something good for the environment, you're doing something good for the planet and your future generation. So that these are some things that just when you are feeling like quitting, make you say no, I'm doing something good. Let me continue.
Right. How do you see the three P's: planet, people, and profit in a business?
Uh, so see, you get into a business not for charity. So you have to make profit. But I've always believed in that profit with purpose. So it can't just be only profit at any cost. Ruin the planet, ruin the thing, make I mean all the wrong things that you can do. So it has to be profit with purpose, where you are making profit because that's what you're in it for, but you're also doing good making profit.
Right. What are the three words that you would describe yourself apart from being an entrepreneur?
Myself.
Yes, that's a tough question like that.
So I would say I'm a risk taker.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this industry and not 32 years ago. Second part, yes, I'm passionate about what I do. Third, I'm also like, everything is not about, like, I do try and do a work life balance. So it's not all about just this, if I'm an entrepreneur, it's a business. I try and keep myself grounded by doing a lot other things beyond work also. I'm especially passionate about nature, so I make sure I give myself time off to go high altitude trekking or deep sea diving. So these are my two passions which I try and make time for as and when I can. That's amazing. Can you please share one experience through your treks or dives? No, like it's both are completely opposite. Yeah. So one I'm going high up and one I'm going deep down. So no, they're actually summarizes an entrepreneur's life. Yes. Sir. No, both are amazing in that thing. First of all, being in nature, in whichever way it is, whether you're up on a mountain or under an ocean, and it's like for me, it's meditative. That once I go diving, then whatever is the pressures of your work or life in general just disappears because here I am, like in a world where humans are not supposed to be in. You're breathing through a mask and you're seeing a billion type of different species that each time you go diving it's something different and you can never have enough of it. So it's just a most surreal experience. Wow. And with the treks? Treks also, just it makes you wonder that, what are we doing in this? Here you are, you feel so small up there in the top of a mountain at 5,000, 6,000 meters up there where every breath is an effort. So you realize that like a simple thing sitting here, I won't even realize that I'm breathing. Up there, you take a deep breath and realize that how important taking a breath is. And there is so much more to life than just your day-to-day functioning. And that is so much true in our daily lives as well. We do not get the importance of something until we feel it in a place where it should not be there or it is very hard to get it there. Exactly. When you don't have it, then you realize. Yeah. So that is something that is very important in our daily lives as well. You mentioned about being a risk taker and the risks involved in this industry as well. Could you walk us through some challenges and some risks that are involved in the solar industry as of now? See, risks are in every industry, and every industry has, the ones who have succeeded and the ones who have failed. In fact, every industry you'll see, like for example, you'll hear of one Google, but for every one Google, there are probably millions who try to do the same and fail. So that's the same even with the solar industry. So the solar industry today has become very commoditized. It's become very, very competitive. So with competition comes the pros and cons also. Pros are obviously you have to be competitive from a price point of view. You have to do something extra to convince the customer to go with you versus somebody else. The con is that there are so many fly-by-night operators that who come in who spoil the industry as a whole by giving low quality product, low quality service. So that you have to counter that also. So sometimes the customer gets taken in. No, this is the lowest price. You match that, but with matching that you can't give the kind of product and service that you would like to. So that's a challenge which we then stay away from that kind of customer. So overall, the competitive nature of this industry today is the biggest challenge.
Right. With the customer as well, I think I've heard it somewhere that when your customer is ready to go and deal with a product which is much less cheaper than yours, that customer would never be yours in terms of loyalty. Because as soon as they see a cheaper product, they'll run there.
Correct, correct. So there are these, some sorts of customers who are just price driven. So we've never, chased after that customer.
Right.
We are very clear with the type of customer profile we have. So very often we say no to a big order also, because we can't be chasing after that.
Right. So if you had 100 points
Yeah.
in a pie,
Yeah.
you had to divide it into four parts.
We'll spend that in these
Yeah.
four things.
So marketing,
Huh?
distribution, product, and value, which would have the highest.
Oh, see, the product and value has to be the highest, because if those are not good, then everything else you could market yourself very well. But if your product doesn't stand up to the performance, then you'll fail somewhere. So product and values definitely is there, and marketing and
Marketing and distribution.
yeah. So then I would say that the other two, marketing and distribution, will come. That's not such a challenge, but because it's our product type is different. We're not in some like, say, if you spoke to, say, Hindustan Lever, for them distribution would be a big
Right.
thing. In ours, that's not an issue, because we do projects, large scale projects. So marketing would be third and distribution fourth. But definitely product and value would be one and two.
Alright. Where do you see AgniSolar in the next 5 years?
So now we're on a fast growth path, and I really aim is to take it really big and be one of the largest solar players in the country.
If you had to redo the entire thing again right now,
Hmm.
Agni Solar, you had to actually start it from scratch right now.
Yeah.
What would be the things that you would be doing for the firsts?
No, so and if I was redoing it from scratch, but I had the advantage of knowing what I had done in 32 years and what I had done wrong, I would jump into it and make it far more successful, much faster, and without the mistakes that I had made in my last 32 years.
Right.
So I would do things a bit differently, same things but a bit differently, with the knowledge of what not to do.
Right. Do you think past experiences actually shape a person in their individual lives as well?
Of course, for sure. There's so much you learn, which like, even when we are young, our parents, grandparents will give us some advice. We usually shrug it under the carpet, saying, "What do they know? They are old. Generation knows much more." But it's only that when you get the dhakka जो ऐसा मिलता है ना from your practical life, that's when you'll really learn what everything is about. Real life is about.
धक्के से ही
हाँ,
सीखते हैं.
without dhakkas you don't. There's only limited learning. With dhakkas you get the real learning.
What are the myths about entrepreneurship that the new generation is feeling like? Like, there are some myths that the new generation is following, and there are some facts also they're taking as, like, they're taking entrepreneurship for granted right now. Do you think it is a fact?
So see, as an advice for the new generation, I would not like to, disappoint them or scare them from taking the jump towards entrepreneurship. I think it's something that if you're made for entrepreneurship, or if you have some kind of an interest to go for it, you should try it. Even a mildly successful, it's very fulfilling. The fact that you started something from scratch, you built it into something of meaning, and you are also responsible for a number of people who are working for you. So it's very fulfilling in its way, but it's also extremely, extremely challenging, which people don't realize it till you get into it. Because you get hit from headwinds from all over, 360 degrees, So it's not like, and there's so many things you should have never even have thought of You would have thought, yeah, I've done all my research, this can be the problem, this can be, but things that come your way, it's unimaginable. So how to overcome those headwinds, those challenges, and still come out on top. And when you do, it's like extremely fulfilling. It's like giving an analogy of climbing a mountain.
Right.
You get tired, you get altitude sickness, you'll have some other issues. But if you make it to the top, it's like all those things are worth it. But yes, there will be 100 challenges which you could have never imagined when you planned it out.
Very right. With your interactions with the newest generation, what do you think are the advices that you would give the newer generation?
So again, repeating myself, follow your passion. Don't be scared of failing because only failure builds character. So if you, unless circumstances are such that you don't at all have any leeway or headroom to fail, otherwise go with your passion, whatever it is, give it a shot. You're 20 something, you'll fail maybe 5 years later, you can restart your thing. But don't get scared of that. And I'm saying it, my own daughters are in college and I've told them the same thing. None of them are, joining my business. They're doing exactly what they want to do, and I've given them a free hand. You do whatever you want and give it a shot. Try your best.
That is the best thing.
Yeah.
Could you please walk us through the journey of KPay as well now?
So see, KPay was born as a kind of from Agni Solar.
Okay.
See, part of Agni Solar's, a lot of the work we used to do was in rural areas, trying to sell off-grid products. Say like this, there's a lantern, this is a solar torch. We used to have street lights, home lighting kits, etc. Now, what I saw was there was a genuine requirement in the rural areas among the low-income groups, because in these areas, till recently, even now actually, even though the government says we are 100% electrified, it is just namesake. Actually, you have huge power cuts. So there was a genuine need for power because people's lives were getting constrained since they didn't have power. If you didn't have electricity in the evenings, you could not study. Students were getting affected. You couldn't do social activities. You couldn't do productive use of many things. So productive, like suppose somebody is a housewife, she's sitting and stitching clothes in the evening or something. There's no power for the sewing machine. So there was a huge requirement, but the one thing is solar power, one could sell it through the regular channels that you sold them a home lighting kit and to worked out some EMI scheme with them. But I was looking for a technology based solution for this problem. Um, I happened to be at a conference in the US when I came across this concept of pay as you go. So pay as you go was a technology that got embedded into a power device, into a product, allowing the device to function digitally, remotely.
Okay.
So as soon as I heard this person speak about that, it was like a eureka moment for me. I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for. So after the conference, I went and met that person and visited her company in San Francisco and all that, and understood what they do. So they had devised this technology based on IoT, Internet of Things. So my problem was that in developing countries like India, if you don't have the I in IoT, Internet, then how does that technology function? So it'll just be namesake technology, not practically workable. So that's when I got some of our tech team together and got in another outside guy, technology fellow, who I was to be working with for some of our development work, and said, this is our problem. We have to develop this pay-as-you-go technology for India, and it has to work without internet and without smartphone, because we had the experience and knowledge of what functions in rural areas. Okay. Till now, of course, smartphones are really picking up, but till some years ago, smartphones were not very used. Regular feature phones were non-smartphone types were used most of rural India, and internet was not so commonly available. So we took it on up as a challenge amongst us, and we spent about a year, but we actually developed a technology that works offline, which is without internet and smartphone, but also works through GPRS and through SMS technology, and also through IoT. So we developed a technology that was very flexible, could be used in any kind of geography in any situation. And while developing the technology, though it was being developed for solar products, we realized that this is a technology that can be hardware agnostic, can be used for any power device. So we changed track a bit, and shifted that entire development into formed a separate company called KPay, and made it into a separate new entity itself, so the startup entity. And over the last few years, we have showcased our technology in a wide variety of products and applications, which includes solar devices, home appliances such as TV, AC, refrigerator, farming equipment such as water pumps. We are using it a lot for electric vehicles and EV charging stations, and even very unique applications such as smart public toilets.
Wow.
So, like the technology has evolved over time, and we found many use cases that we didn't even fathom when we were developing it.
That's great. How do you manage both of these together, Agni Solar and KPay? Agni Solar is completely on autopilot mode right now.
No, not completely on autopilot, but yes, initial development when KPay was being developed, I had to put a lot more time and effort there.
Right.
So I balance my time. It's like KPay is still a fledgling company, so it does require time to develop it. But I think I balance it both.
That brings me to something that is a new term right now, burnout.
Mhm.
Something that everyone says that आज इतना काम कर लिया एकदम burnout हो गया. There's this term coming in. How do you deal with burnouts?
So burnout, of course, is very real in today's, very extremely this
Hustle culture.
yeah, this competitive culture and everything. But you have to, each one has to learn their own ways to have a balance. So there is a, even in our company, I do push a lot for work-life balance. So we have Monday to Friday working. There is flexibility to most people to take time off when required. Of course, work has to be done, but everyone has to find their own thing, which is the balance to the work. So, like I said, to me, it is like going out in nature or playing a sport. So I have to make sure that I go and do some form of exercise at least 5 days a week to stay balanced. So for other people, there could be other things. Some people it's music or reading or meditation, whatever it is. But to prevent burnout, work-life balance is very, very important.
Right. Yeah. How would you describe your young days and college going days?
What I describe.
Yeah.
No, it was great fun. See, I did my engineering in the US,
Right.
which was a fantastic experience for me because it opened up my vision and the world for me. So coming from India back in, see, I went in '89. So that time, no internet. We had very basic understanding of what culture was in some other country. It was mostly US culture. We understood only from seeing English movies.
Mhm.
So it was a warped type of understanding from what you see in movies. So going to a college which had 50,000 students and students from every country in the world, some 100 and some countries were represented. It opened up your vision greatly. There is so much more to the world than where we come from and what each one's perspective is. And it also gave you a better understanding and appreciation for your own country. Well, when you are 18, 19, you want to like India mein kya rakha hai, I'm getting out. But when you go there and you see what their challenges and life is, you start appreciating your own country also a lot more. and you say, it's not all bad. We have so many things that are good for us, and that is why I came back also like there's this opportunity in India, and let me try and do something there. So when I graduated, I had job offers from a lot of top companies in the US, but I decided to come back.
That's great. Let's jump on to the one word section now. So, what happens in the one word section is I'll tell you a topic and you have to describe it in one word only. So,
Okay.
entrepreneurship.
Risk,
That is actually the first definition of entrepreneurship, being a risk taker. Right. Legacy,
responsibility,
failure,
learning,
peace.
essential,
Oh my god, something that keeps you going.
my children,
Oh. Money.
not essential. So
So, Agni Solar,
passion,
KPay.
potential,
Wow. Your life.
happy. Lot of challenges, but overall, one everybody has challenges in life.
Right. That is such a positive outlook
Yeah.
on it. What do you think about being content as well? What do you think about being content, being satisfied with the actions that you do?
So I think one of the most important things to be content is not to judge yourself with somebody else's life. Very often the discontent comes when you're like, अरे बट इसके पास ये है मेरे पास नहीं है इसके पास वो गाड़ी है मुझे भी चाहिए या वो whatever it is. So you have to look at your own thing of what keeps you content. And if that is good enough, then you are in fact not only content, you are rich. Because at the end of it, if you have a $1 billion bank balance, but if you're not happy, what's the use of it? So I think the new form of wealth is one is first health, the other is so many other things, your family, your friends, and other things. And money, of course, is important because you don't want to be struggling for day-to-day things. But when you go back after towards the latter half of your life, you realize that it was only like you said, in a pie chart, it would be a small slither of which will come under money. It is important, but everything else is also so much more important.
I love your positive outlook on things.
Thank you.
One word to describe the young people of India.
Again, huge potential. So potential. I just hope that they meet that potential and take this country forward. Because for my generation, we've not done what we were set out to do. When I see it, this is a very distinct memory. I was flying back after graduation with a friend of mine, and we were just talking about we're both coming back instead of staying in the US. Where do you see the country going? And that time, of course, I was a young kid and with pink tinted glasses on my face. So everything was extra positive, and I said, in 5 years, India will be a developed country. Now, 32 years on, it's nowhere close to it. But I hope this potential is realized by your generation.
And I hope that we actually stand up to whatever you have said. And I think most of the people watching us today will have so many takeaways from the session that they actually start working towards making India from a developing to developed country, which was a far-sighted vision for you at that time. It was lovely, lovely having a conversation with you. Looking forward to many more collaborations for the youth of India watching us today.
Thank you so much, and all the best to you and your entire generation.
Thank you so much, Ravi.
Thanks.